Jackson, summer
What?
break's
What?
over. We have to record. All right, come on. Welcome back to the 305K. Jackson and I have had our break. We're all ready to go again. Um, Along with Jackson's dad in the background there, getting a few action shots. So
Oh yeah.
this is a big race. Obviously, last year it was kind of a turning point, or we thought it was a turning point in the championship, with Lando Norris DNFing, and Oscar Piastri picking up a significant amount of points in the championship. Um, right now, we've got a bigger lead for Kimi Antonelli. My question to you is: could this be a race where we see another big shift?
Uh, I'd almost say it depends on the weather because I saw that there would be a little bit of rain maybe on practice day, but
Hmm.
also not no, I can't see there being a big of a shift because it felt like Norris wasn't too far off whenever the shift happened, but it feels like Russell just has not
Yeah.
had any sort of momentum. And maybe the break
Hmm.
was a good break for him, but man, it's been just brutal for him.
Yeah. Well, he did get engaged, so maybe he's a little bit. Maybe that was the stress that
Didn't
was kind of
Albon as
bringing him
well?
down. I thought they were already engaged.
They
I
might.
don't
Oh,
know.
they
All
no,
I
they
know is
definitely were
that
already married.
Russell got engaged, gave his fiance a very big rock. I thought it was
Saw
quite
that.
ugly. But anyways, not to talk about gossip on the podcast. But
Yeah.
I will say that Kimi last year, it is worth noting, he did not have a good race here. He finished P16.
Mhm.
Um, and Russell, on the other hand, very good race, finishing P4. I think that maybe this is a chance for Russell to get a little bit back. And we talked about rain. Right now, it's looking 50-50. I think there's
Yeah.
rain for Saturday, but it's Zandvoort, it's on the beach, it's on the water.
I
In
mean,
general,
remember
it's
that race?
impossible to predict.
Yeah, I mean, remember that race a few years ago where it was just absolutely pouring. We had like a bunch of red flags. It was like the most overtakes ever in a race,
Overtakes them.
technically.
Yes.
It was
Hmm.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, and I think that this is certainly a weird track. It's a weird track. And last year there
Yeah.
was a little bit of wetness, I think. We had a bunch of DNFs, Ferrari double DNF. Um, I think that in general, it's a track that's kind of it has its moments, and it's usually chaos that makes it an interesting race, not necessarily a bunch of on track moves.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like kind of a hard track to overtake. And I say this at most tracks, but like you obviously will always have the main straight, but it's not even a giant main
Mhm.
straight. Like you need a good run off the banking.
You need it, yeah. You need a good slingshot off the banking. It's a decently long DRS zone. But in general, if
Well,
you have an
DRS is
offset, it's an
good.
easy pass. Oh yeah, excuse me. Active aero zone.
Yeah.
Um, the back straight is okay. Leclerc had a spectacular overtake there last year, but it was, you know, one in a million and potentially illegal too. So it's not a great track for overtaking in general.
Yeah.
And really, I think we just have a wild card of a race because we have three teams where I think all three of them you could see come out on top, coming into this weekend. And plus, we've just had 3 weeks where it's just development period. So I really have no real clue who's going to be the best driver come this weekend.
It 100%. And I'd be interested to see if Aston Martin can kind of get back in the fight a little bit. I say get back in the fight, but maybe get back in the points. Like, they had a
Yeah.
nice little strong suit at Spa, and I'm wondering if this development time has given them a chance to get even further back into it, if you will. I mean,
Yeah.
again, points seem far off, but you never know.
Yeah. And I think that also I did want to just point out that Carlos Sainz signed an extension with Williams. I think Albon did as
Albon did as
well.
well. Yeah, they both did in the
So
press.
both of them putting confidence in a team that really hasn't deserved it this year, but
Dude, Sainz
maybe
is
has a
making like 30
brighter
million
future.
for the year.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
mean,
one of the
30
highest
million,
paid
put me in a
drivers
shit
on the
box. I
grid.
would. I think there are two things I have to say about that. The first one is of all the guys in the grid, Carlos Sainz, I think, deserves to be in the middle payroll. Maybe his
Mhm.
personality is bigger, but I just don't. He's not that good. There's a reason why he left. He got sacked from Ferrari, and it's more than just the fact that the goat replaced him. There's a reason why other teams didn't pick him up. He doesn't deserve $30 million, in my opinion. He's getting paid as much as like I don't know. Judge was getting paid on his last
Yeah.
extension for the Yankees, and that dude does a hell of a lot more than Carlos Sainz does for F1. But my other point is that I really don't. I think that this is a really good example of Carlos Sainz doing really bad business because he put himself in this team, and maybe it's his agent as well, who's his cousin. Maybe a little bit of nepotism. Maybe that's a lesson, but he
Hey,
put his trust in his cousin, and lost a chance with one of the big teams. He was in talks with Red Bull, talks with Mercedes, and he passed them up, ended up being in talks between Alpine and Williams. And that is about as far as you can fall. And he's really put his career in the shitter now because he's stuck with this team for multiple years and look like they're going to be toast at least until the next regulation change.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's 4 years. That's brutal. They were so excited for this regulation change, and it feels like they've just absolutely it.
Oh,
It's
seriously.
horrible.
And
Um,
also, the big story I think for this weekend, in terms of driver shifts,
yeah.
Isaac Hadjar has broken his wrist boxing, so he's
It
out of
was
the Red Bull
boxing. I
team.
was gonna ask. I had no idea what it was from.
Yeah. He's out of the Red Bull team for this weekend. Liam Lawson's been promoted to the Red Bull team. Yuki Tsunoda is in Liam Lawson's position. So hopefully I explained this right. So Red Bull right now has Max Verstappen, and they have Liam Lawson's who got brought in to replace Yuki Tsunoda at Racing Bulls, then got put into Red Bull, then got switched back to Racing Bulls to replace Yuki Tsunoda, and now is racing for Red Bull to replace Isaac Hadjar. Yuki Tsunoda is at Racing Bulls, who is brought in to replace,
Liam
I
Lawson.
believe, Liam Lawson, and then was put into Red Bull to replace Liam Lawson, and then fired in place of Isaac Hadjar, and then now is back into Racing Bulls to replace Liam Lawson.
Wow.
That's the way that the team is working right now.
That's
Go back
I
and replay
think
that if you need.
the tongue twister and like in a letter. I
Yeah,
don't even know. It's not an alliteration, but it felt like one. That's for sure.
it
The
was a
one
long
thing I will
journey of a
say
statement.
is,
Yeah,
you know, I think that's the right decision from Red Bull. I think you know putting Liam Lawson. That's like the right probably person you should be putting in. That being said, I would have really liked to see Arvin Lindblad get the call because I feel like he's been driving very, very
yeah.
good recently. I think him getting the call would have shown a lot and potentially just been like, well, what can this kid do in a Red Bull?
Yeah, although Liam Lawson also, we're gonna have our midseason rankings soon. But Liam Lawson has been best of the rest of the non-Big Four drivers.
Hmm.
Excuse me, Big Four teams.
Teams,
Uh,
yeah.
he's really been spectacular this year, and I think that maybe you can make the case for Lindblad because Liam had his chance last year and really struggled in that second seat. But I think he's deserved to be in the conversation for a call.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm just saying it would have been a fun little twist seeing Lindblad
Yeah,
get the call.
just to
That's
put
all.
17-year-old into yeah.
He's 17.
I believe so. Maybe he's 18 now. I think he was 17 when he
Jeez.
got the seat.
Look at us.
Um, yeah, my Ferrari boys, obviously, I can't go an episode of that talking about him. But Charles Leclerc, he's had a good summer break. He's posted about 1,000 times, released new clothing, all this stuff, all good stuff, a
You
lot of
buy
resting. This race last year was just about the lowest of the low.
it.
On the SF25, it was kind of the worst ever. We had a double DNF. It was miserable. I'm looking at this race as maybe a redemption moment for the Dutch Grand Prix. And I don't know if the drivers are thinking about that at all. But
No.
really, I feel like this is a good moment for Ferrari to make a statement.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it feels like almost in any sport coming out of a break, and I'd say especially baseball, and we're in the middle of baseball season right now. It feels like right after the All Star break, that's when a team is either going to strike or like hit the shit effectively. Um,
Yeah.
and it feels like right now, it feels like a big moment. It feels like the Ferraris could go on a surge. It feels like maybe McLaren could come back into the conversation, or the Mercedes just take off and win the whole thing quickly. So
Yeah.
it feels like this race could really set the tone for what's next to come.
Yeah. I was just curious on your Pirates, where do you think they stand in that coming off the All-Star break?
It was horrible. They went like 3-12 in a 15 game stretch. I was just banging my head against the wall watching them every single
Yeah.
week. It was painful. They had like
Anyways,
17 days in a row with games, and it was like they won maybe five of them. It was just unbelievably brutal.
yeah, well, they're sitting in fourth in the NL Central. I kind of want to get a rise out of you.
They're
But
six. They're 6.5 out. Yeah, I know. I was in tarps
yeah,
off
it's
last
not
night. I
good.
think I showed you that. I was just waving my shirt
Yeah,
around. I was shirtless.
that's
That was good
wonderful.
fun. Yeah, good fun, Tucker. 305K baseball podcast.
305 Clothing
Um,
Podcast.
oh yeah, speaking of 305K, it turns out there's 305K residents in Pittsburgh. So I just thought that was kind of very funny. I saw that in a post
That
the
was
other
my
day.
double entendre. That was the double entendre I was going for with the
Oh,
account.
I know Tucker. Don't worry.
I
Um,
was thinking well in advance.
uh,
Look, we've
what's it
got we've got
called?
a big race here. I
Predictions?
can't go. Yeah, we should get to predictions. I can't go a week without talking about Ferrari and saying that this is their big chance to make a statement. I think
Yeah,
I've said that
100%.
probably every race.
Every single
Um,
episode.
and I think I've said that to every member of my family before every race as well. So if that message doesn't get out enough, I'm sorry. I've really been trying to get it out. But we should go
Yeah.
into predictions. I think
All
I
right,
have the
you have
first one. Are we
points
starting
first.
with?
Yeah, you have points.
Yeah, for
Points.
my points prediction, I'm really going to the archives of online F1 communities. This is something that very few people will understand because it's a little bit niche, but there's a prophecy that was written into this, scribed onto F1 Reddit that says, or no, it's on Wikipedia, I take that back, that prophesizes that a driver from the East will have a very poor career, get sacked, and then have a spectacular, great career after coming back to the sport. Now, that sounds like utter bullshit, let's be honest. But it also matches the story of what Yuki's gotten in the last 2 years. So,
Uh,
I'm not going to act like he's going to turn around and win the championship. But I don't know. I feel like maybe you get a couple points, fulfill that prophecy to an extent. So I have missed my surprise points. Yuki Tsunoda stepping back into the F1 car and racing for Racing Bulls, who've been successful this year. Who knows? I think he could get a couple points across.
yeah, that's really a shame because that was my points prediction as well. So I'm gonna switch. And at the beginning of the year, I can't even believe I'd be saying this, but I like to go for fun surprise points. I think going for like Gasly, maybe Colapinto or freaking the Racing Bulls,
Lindblad.
that's utter woke nonsense. If you would like it, so I'm going with Fernando Alonso. I think that car is gonna somehow get him into the points
Look, I mean, to be fair, like they've been close. They
in
were
one
close
race.
last race in one race still. And I think that they might be bringing in more upgrades into this race. And who knows? It's Fernando Alonso. It's kind of a wonky track, maybe a little bit of that experience pulls through. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's actually a bad pick at all.
Well,
And
appreciate
you
it.
now
Do
have your
I
flop pick.
flop? Okay. My flop is going to be Liam Lawson. I think he's going to get this opportunity and continue his momentum from the last time he was in the Red Bull and just stink it up. So I'm going Liam Lawson.
I mean, Liam Lawson had a star-studded time with Red Bull over those three races. I think he finished last on the road in every single one, which is like impressive that he didn't DNF and managed to finish worse than everyone else. But anyways, I digress. My big flop is a man who sent in an absolute, I'm not even gonna say dive bomb. I'm just gonna say
You're
bomb
no
on
way you're
Lewis
going with
Hamilton.
this pick.
On Lewis Hamilton last year, I earned
Oh
him a
wait.
nickname that I'm actually very proud of coining. Um, and look, I think right now he's in a great spot. I'm going with the Kimikaze. I'm going with Kimi Antonelli.
It's such a good nickname. I can't believe you're going Kimmy, honestly. That just feels very bold. Um,
Look,
but
this was where Lando Norris DNF last year, and we thought that it shifted the championship to Oscar Piastri before mysterious events happened with him that I can't discuss or I'll get in trouble. But um, this year, I think it might go the other way, where the championship leader loses ground to second and third place.
okay, I actually like that pick. Give hot take.
I do have a hot take. And right now, I think I talked about it earlier with there are three teams that I think are very possible to come out in really strong position. I also think that this is a moment where we have reliability issues. We have struggles on one of the cars. I think that one of the Mercedes is going to finish outside the points.
That goes exactly with your flop, so that makes total sense.
It does go exactly my flop, but I was making it different for my flop because I want to keep the possibility in that George Russell is the one who accidentally cursed an
Ah,
accident because that's the way the season's kind of been going for him.
yeah, yeah. All right. For my hot take, it was supposed to go with my surprise points, but again, you took it. I think Yuki Tsunoda is going to finish ahead of Liam Lawson this week. Given his opportunity.
That's a good hot take. I really like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. I was proud of that one. I just think that given this opportunity, maybe he'll shine. He never had like too many great performances with Red Bull last year, but I feel like him getting back in the car, getting his one shot to prove himself, like never know. We'll see what we got.
Hmm.
Paul, uh, it's the last Dutch Grand Prix for who knows how long, and I think it'd be like just a shame if I didn't pick him. So I'm gonna go with Max Verstappen in his home race. He loves this track. historically pretty damn good at it. So I think it could be a
Mhm.
big week for the Dutchman.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't even have Verstappen sniffing my predictions here. And I think that that's a little bit sacrilegious and maybe also misguided. Um, but I really think that George had a really good race last year here, and I think that he's bound to continue that. So I have George Russell taking pole on Saturday. He's known for his qualifying, and who knows, maybe a good qualifying gets him back on track on a Sunday.
Bears. P3.
Yeah, P3. So this is where I would put Verstappen, but I'm not going to. Because I don't know. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in divinity, I guess. Um, so I have Lando Norris taking up that third spot on the podium. Look, he joined the
God.
race winners club,
Oh.
fifth race winner this year. Neither of us really like him, but look, he's driven really well this year. He's had a really good year. Some would argue that he's driving better this year than he did last year. He said that himself.
Hmm.
And I think this is a race that he won a couple of years ago by like literally 35 seconds.
Yeah, he killed
Um,
it.
or 18 seconds, I believe. Anyways, blew him out of the water. He's good here, and he's driven well here in the past. So I think the P3 could be on the cards for him.
You're really making my life hard today, and you haven't in a while. I land up P3, and I guess, trying to figure out where to go with it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with George P3. I think he'll be good, but I don't think he'll be great. And I think that I can't see him beating Kimmy. Like, that's the thing, is I just can't see him beating Kimmy at the moment until he consistently doesn't. I kind of said this with like putting Kimmy at pole, and then the first week I did that, he didn't take pole. Um, like, it's just I can't
Hmm.
see him beating Kimmy yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going P3, and
I
I'm
don't
also
know. I
annoyed you
mean,
took my pick.
you have P2 as well, so you can keep going. I don't know. I just don't feel like Kimmy's gonna have a good weekend this weekend.
I mean, he might not. It definitely, this track scares me. But that being said, that doesn't fault me from putting him at P2. I think he's gonna, again, like, have a good weekend, but I just don't think he's gonna beat a certain someone.
Oh no. Oh no. That really scares me with your predictions. Maybe it shouldn't because I think it bodes well for my like overall ranking. But oh, so you have the two Mercedes third and second.
Hmm.
Interesting. My
You
original
have the
bold prediction,
P1
by the way.
pick, so you shouldn't even be worried.
Yeah. Well, I'm not worried. I'm just second guessing myself because I did not have a double Mercedes podium. And my first
Well,
bold
I wasn't
prediction before I
supposed to, but
changed
you
it,
took my pick.
that's fair. My original bold prediction was a three-team podium, and I changed it because I'm believing more in. I don't want to believe against a Ferrari double podium. So my P2 is Charles Leclerc, and I
Okay,
really
yeah.
wanted to put him P1. Look, he had a great race here last year until the DNF.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was going really well until the DNF. He was just, sorry, I take it back. It wasn't Lewis Hamilton who got crashed into by Kimmy. It was
It was
Leclerc who got
Leclerc.
crashed into by Kimmy coming out
Yeah,
of the
I was
pits.
wondering what
So
you
I messed
said
that up
back then.
because I was confusing the two DNFs. It's the same corner that it happened. Lewis's was by his own accord. Charles Leclerc got
Kim
kamikazed,
Katsu.
which was not his fault.
Yeah.
So I think that look, Charles raced quite well before that DNF. He had one of the if not the move of the season against George
Mhm.
Russell. He was punching above his weight there, and I think he's bound to do it again. I have him coming P2 here. He's pretty good qualifying. He's very good in the race, and I think that he's going to pull off a great drive. That leaves my P1. Now, there are still people that like make me question my P1. Kimi, obviously, he's the championship leader. He's been great. Verstappen, it's his last time at this track. Lewis, I love Lewis. Piastri, I'm kidding. I was never thinking of Piastri P1.
Yo,
My
I'm
P1
sending
prediction,
that.
my P1 prediction is George Russell. I picked him for pole. I think he's not a terrible driver. I think he's a good driver. He's in a great car. And I think he wants to make this championship a little bit interesting. He's lost his P2 in the Drivers' Championship. And I think that this is a big weekend where he could pull it back.
Yeah, I think I like that prediction. I think it could be a good week for George. But again, I just, for now, I don't see him beating Kimmy, and that's just me. But I could definitely see him pulling out a good weekend. I'm gonna follow your trend and picking my pole pick for the win. I'm going with the Flying Dutchman, Max Verstappen, winning his home race, eating a stroopwafel after. I don't know. That's what I did when I was in the Netherlands. It's
I thought that was Belgian.
no, that's waffle. Stroopwafels is a Dutch thing.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
I'm not
Um,
cultured enough.
no, it's fine. I think I really think Max will have a good weekend. I feel like he's shown promise, but he hasn't been able to put it together this year. Um, and I don't know. I think it'll be a good week for him.
Perhaps look,
That's what we got.
he's two home races on the calendar, Austria and the Netherlands. The Netherlands, I think, means more to him.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen the scenes when he comes across as winner at that track. We've seen it when he comes across on the podium. Um, Look, they love Max Verstappen for good reason. My question and my query to Red Bull is just, do they have enough car for him?
Hmm.
Truly. I mean, we've seen it when he's got, when the car is somewhere in the same league as the top two, he's able to put it across and find a win. But,
Hmm.
last race, I don't feel like it felt like that. And I don't
Hmm.
feel like that car has been up to the standard of the other three teams who are at the top. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It should be an interesting race for sure. It's a small track, so kind of
Hmm.
we should see some
Hmm.
crashes and stuff like that. But
hmm
you know, I really
And obviously, eyes on the weather. This is going to be an interesting weekend with that. Right now, I think it's supposed to rain for qualifying, not for the race. That was the
okay.
last I saw. And that's just my
I haven't
research on the
checked.
weather app.
Hmm.
So obviously, we'll keep doing that research as we get closer to race day.
Yeah.
But we know that, like I said before, the weather patterns are chaotic. They're unpredictable. It's right on the coast. The wind picks up. The clouds come in quickly. So who knows?
Yep. 100%. We shall see. We shall see. It'll be a good race.
Mhm. And we will see you all to break it down. We will also see you for our season rankings, our mid-season driver rankings, which is kind of the anniversary of our first
Unbel
episode,
Yeah.
almost, I think, over a year ago now, that was on the same subject. So
Hmm.
we've really come full circle.
Yeah,
So
haven't
much to
we?
be proud of.
Yes.
And
A lot.
we will see you all next time.